Hello again. Sorry about that. A small connection issue we've been having here at my garage. Um, so good evening. You're joining us from Europe. Good afternoon. If you're from the East Coast, then yeah, good afternoon. Good morning to those watching from the West. Um, I'm Andy from Heritage Parts Centre. I've worked at Heritage for 12 years, and I'm responsible for a lot of the written content we produce. I go out and meet a lot of the customers, and have the pleasure of sharing their stories with the world on the Heritage magazine. Today, fortunately, we have a good friend of ours, Jamie Orr, and he's coming live from Pottstown in Pennsylvania in the USA.
Hello,
Good evening,
Andy.
Jamie. How are we doing?
Good, thank you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, sorry about that. My network provider decided that 4G was off the cards for 5 minutes, just the 5 minutes I needed.
We're
Um,
in this whole new world where cell phone check engine lights get us as well as car ones, so don't worry about it.
so I was going to give you a little bit of an intro, but you're here. Do you want to give us? Do you want me
I
to do
can
it?
walk away. It's okay. You can just talk about me. I'll just
We'll
go
have
off camera.
a
It's fine.
drum roll. So if you read Performance VW magazine, if you watch car build or road trip videos on YouTube, or if you ever thought about switching your water cooled VW from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, why would you do that? Jamie's name's probably going to be a bit familiar. If you're none the wiser, don't go anywhere. You're in for a treat. Jamie's a great guy, and he's got a whole load of stories to tell us. So, Jamie, would you mind maybe giving us a quick kind of whiz round? What's behind you? What's in front of you? You're in your workshop, yeah?
I am, yeah. So I work on my own. And I live maybe a mile away. So I get to just either ride my bicycle and dodge people or else drive in alone. So sheltering in place for me is quite easy. Right now, today we were meant to be in Wörthersee in Austria. We were going to ship the cars over again, but instead we are here working on cars. I am here working on cars, but very quickly. This is my own wall of wheels. This is my own little private collection of wheels that I found around the world. And there's some cars I can't show you, but a lot of things I can. So these are all pretty much my own. Well, that one belongs to Volkswagen of America, but we might get to that later. These are all kind of my own cars. There's, old things, new things, expensive things, cheap things.
Not just VWs, is it? You've got
there's a Honda over there. There's a Ford Fiesta on a H plate. My first, So there are some other things. There's some bicycles and things, but Volkswagens and Audi are really where my true passion and my hopefully knowledge is based on.
Okay, cool. So you become quite well known for against the clock sort of project builds, and then normally you do a ridiculous drive after it. What's the inspiration behind kind of these ridiculous challenges?
So rather than just staring at me, we'll go look at a couple of those cars while we're talking.
Cool.
So the idea really started, where did it start? Well, basically, I don't always have a lot of time, and it's hard to sort of take time off work and things. So I would fly somewhere and buy a car and try and drive it home. And then it turned into, let's fly to South Africa and we'll send a 3.6 liter VR6 engine over with a gearbox and a limited slip differential and all the wiring done here. And then we'll go and just buy a used City Golf. And then we're going to do that. Let's paint it and restore it. And so I went with Black Forest Industries, Eurowise, and we put the BBS wheels in the suitcases and just flew there. And then Volkswagen South Africa thought, hey, this is kind of fun. So they joined me as a partner. So it has all brand new sheet metal. We updated to the later spec doors. And then, 5 days of 2 hours sleep a day with 10 or 15 people working on it. And the whole community came together. And now it's a 300 horsepower car. We took it to the biggest show, the Camp Fest down there. Afterwards, we drove it 1,000 miles across South Africa, took it back to the factory where it was made, took it on Volkswagen's race circuit that they sponsor for the local community and for official events. And then I shipped it with them to Germany, took it on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. It's a whole thing. And then last year, that worked so well that we went to Brazil and we built this Volkswagen Savero, which is not available in the USA nor in
Yeah, we don't have
Europe. It's a factory Volkswagen pickup truck. And yeah, we built this in 5 days. It almost killed me. I got physically sick on the last day and started throwing up from not sleeping, but we got it done. And now it has, well, a little original 1.6 liter 8 valve that's now a 1.9 with a big turbo, and it's about 350 horsepower on ethanol.
Are they front wheel drive?
Front wheel drive, yeah. You can basically, if you remember the old B1, B2 Audi 80s,
Yeah.
very same transmission. The Mark 1 Passat. The Mark 1 Passat is probably the closest thing to these cars.
Okay.
And speaking of Mark 1 Passats, I do have one here with 5,000 miles on it.
As you do.
Coupe.
Where did you find it?
The original owner had it stored in a barn. She was a hoarder. Her whole house was just full of stuff, and they never drove it. And I bought it and have slowly been just tinkering and fixing it up. Yep, US.
US.
Side markers, big ugly bumpers. It is a champagne edition. So that's, yeah, oh yeah, it's a coupe.
Cool.
Green on green on green.
Ooh.
So yeah, really, really nice. Unfortunately, the story behind it, back in the 80s, her boyfriend keyed it. So
no.
the perfect paint has a big, it makes me so mad. So do I paint it? Do I keep it original? Do I keep the keys? So either way, yeah, that's that. And then we have another Brazilian car there, and this was my first ever car in performance VW. So kind of cleaned up engine bay and lovely 16 valve is probably my favorite motor. But anyway, sorry.
Awesome.
Keep asking questions.
So the project builds, they're not exactly where. So people might not be aware. You were born over here, weren't you? You were born in Scotland, and then you moved out to the States.
Yeah, I was born in Paisley, Glasgow, basically, and then I actually grew up in South England, in Berkshire, right next to the TRL where GTI Inters was for years. So yeah, I spent my whole early car life going to the Guildford Cruise and going to was it Sandown Park, and yeah, air-cooled and water-cooled shows. And then, yeah, as a young adult, I left my family behind and moved here alone. And I feel like everyone here thinks I have a weird British or mid-Atlantic accent, and everyone in Britain's like stupid Yank. And I just have no idea. And I go back to Scotland, and oh, see you, Jimmy. I don't know where my accent's from anymore. But yeah, I'm still Scottish, British. I have a British passport. I'm not an American, but I live here and all my cars are here, so this is home.
What was the motivation behind going to the US?
I had an opportunity to come and work here, basically touring with bands, and the US was a much bigger market, and so that was it. And then Philadelphia, I chose to live here. I visited Chicago and a bunch of other places, and I just chose Philly, and the rest is history.
Cool. So people can't just walk into a career center or a job center and go, I want to do what you do. You're not kind of just a off the shelf job. How did Orchid Euro start?
And I absolutely remember taking my GCSEs and having those stupid, I wanted to be an architect. And finally now when I design parts, I can use technical drawing. So somehow my GCSEs or going for A-levels or whatever actually is useful. This was never planned. I'm lucky to have a lot of friends and a lot of followers, and sometimes parents will approach me and say, how can my son or daughter do what you do? And I used to jokingly say, don't, just stay in school, go to college, whatever path you want. And genuinely, if going to get a degree is not the right path for people, I think especially in the UK and in America, that's kind of looked down upon. But in Germany, learning a trade is phenomenal. So that should be my genuine answer. But no, this was never planned. Sometimes I don't know how I got here. Genuinely, and it sounds so cliched, just being a nerd, or if you want to describe that as being passionate,
Yeah.
and just spending every moment that I can thinking and working and just immersing myself in Volkswagens. That's how I got here.
Do you remember what the first part of the first car you exported out was?
Absolutely, yeah. So the very first part I shipped from the UK to America was a couple of Mark II Jetta rear bumpers. The company that shipped it basically folded them in half. I don't even know how you would do that. Like they must have driven a forklift over the bumpers or dropped them out of a 40-foot high. I don't know. They were destroyed and they charged me for everything and it was miserable. And I don't like to scratch any bumper ever, ever. Even if it's a piece of crap, I hate it. And so that drove me nuts. And I just said, to heck with everyone else in the industry. I will just get my own container. I will just load it myself and I will do it the most stupid, expensive, labor-intensive way I could possibly imagine. And then no one will touch my stuff. And I've kind of followed that ethos to this day, I guess.
What was the first car you took out?
Whew, let me think. I don't even remember. I really don't. I had a lovely 1985 Golf GTI Mars Red with a BBS body kit that looked like really the paint was done when it was very new. And I bought it non-running in the UK, got it running, and now it's still, I brought it over, it went to a couple of different owners, and now it's gone into a lovely collector's hands who does drive it. But yeah, yeah, maybe a Polo, I don't remember. That's weird.
You've taken some Polos, you've taken Lupos out, haven't you? You've got Corrado Magnums, and then you've got the Caddy back. You've got some favourites, some of the stuff you've taken out.
I'm super proud of my resume or my whatever. I mean, the two Corrado Magnums, the only prototypes, the only two existing cars like that in the world, I got to do. I had to do a lot of research. I really had to go deep into the archives to find the original build dates. And so for me, that was a once in a lifetime experience. But now I've helped dozens of people with rally golfs and special cars. That's my own rally there. And then I have to be a little careful with what I do or don't show you in the background. But sitting outside, there is a Audi RS2 that just arrived yesterday for a client. So yeah, I'm really proud, and it just makes me so happy to be able to safely help people move their cars around the world. And now I do more for events as well, just moving cars temporarily, either to Europe for Verdici or from the Middle East or Mexico. And then, yeah, with my other sponsored events, I've driven to the Arctic Ocean. And then just last year in November, I drove Pan South America. So I just love doing logistics. I love dealing with paperwork and customs. I don't know why. It just makes me, my brain is happy doing that.
Can you tell yourself that when you're filming it at the docks and you're like, you seem stressed and all the rest, and then you kind of have to go back?
I live off the stress. I love it. I didn't realize that until recently, but the endorphins and the stress, building the cars fast, dealing with customs, dealing with paperwork and translations and things. I don't know why. I thrive on it somehow. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever.
Fair enough. You kind of touched on the stuff with Volkswagen, so I wanted to kind of just get a little bit into that. Like, did they phone you up, or you can't have phoned them up and gone, "Hey, I'm Jamie, and I do these kind of slightly mad things, and do you want to give me a job?"
Whenever I ask, they generally go, "Well, no, stop," or they don't listen. You know, it's difficult. What I have found and what I've been very lucky with is there are so many hardworking, wonderful people within the corporation that really enjoy their job and do as much as they can within their abilities to either produce cars that we as enthusiasts want, or to support vintage or classic owners, or whatever aspect it is. And that's, yeah, just being able to work with them is phenomenal. I hope that I've built up enough trust that I continue to get contracts and work through that. As an enthusiast, I mean, hey, I would do all of this for free. If somehow, you know, my living expenses were just covered, I would do this 24/7 anyway. But yeah, I do, I guess, have a business, and I do have to pay my bills, and having those partnerships enables me to do that while doing, and this is the cliche, while doing something that I love, and also hopefully bringing a real enthusiast touch to something that is essentially coming from a car manufacturer. And I think that Volkswagen allows me and allows us to see and share in those things is amazing, and I'm super grateful for that. So yeah, I don't really know how it started. Same with working for PVW. Same for, hey, I mean, yeah. How when you say how did you meet this person or something, you know, the stories unfold, and yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to remember how we first, I think we must have met about 10 years ago, when you came in for some parts at Heritage, but I'm back at Burgess Hill, but I can't remember what it was what you had on the trailer or what you were doing at the time.
Your name is saved on my phone as VW Heritage Catalogs, because you guys were like, hey, could you just like take these catalogs and ship them to America for free and then hand them out for us for free? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm happy to help everybody. So your name is still saved as that, and it forever will be.
Thank you very much. Do you remember what the first VW thing you did, like sort of official?
So yeah, there was some writing things, and then Volkswagen Germany had me. Yeah, I was going over to Wörthersee with my own car, and they sent over a film crew and stuff like that. But the one that I'm absolutely the most proud of was the Jetta S, the 2019 Mark 7 Jetta concept that I built for the SEMA show in November 2018. There was a lot of trust involved. I had 2 pre-production cars. I got one of the very first production cars with the wonderful partners that I joined with, ECS, etc. We rapid prototyped a full body kit, which I went out to ECS, and they had a variety of different shaped spoilers for the rear wings, if we're being British, on the boot spoilers. Yeah. And I had seen a pre-production one, and I knew the exact body line that I wanted to follow. And it was such a striking piece on a new car. And we just drew it on a piece of paper, and then it was 3D printed. And it was just for them to be able to take what I had in my head, and I can do a technical drawing. I cannot draw freehand to save my life, but they just, to see what was in my brain on a pre-production car, the first time I ever saw it come out and then be unveiled in full secrecy. There was a photo shoot in the middle of a desert with one of the best car photographers in the world. And it's just me messing with a Jetta. I mean, essentially. So I'm so proud of that car. I think it stands up to the test of time so far. And I'm just, to turn that around in 6 or 8 weeks, and to have the trust of a manufacturer of, here's the car before the public sees it, here's pre-production cars, here's everything. That is what more could an enthusiast dream of? And then as a professional, I mean, that to get that contract was just amazing. So yeah, hopefully there's more things like that coming.
You got that one next to you, haven't you? Have you got the Jetta there?
No, that one is now with Black Forest Industries. I did take that car with Volkswagen of America to Germany. We presented it at Wolfsburg. We presented it at Volkswagen Superhill, and we took it on the Nordschleife. But now it's with Black Forest for engine development. So we're continuing to use that car as basically as a platform to help other enthusiasts. So we're doing an intake kit, a tune, hopefully an interesting hybrid turbo, a cheap hybrid OEM plus turbo upgrade. So that's what that car is for. It's just having fun. I don't need it as a daily driver. It is my personal car now. But instead of using it, to go to Tesco's or something. It's, yeah, I'm trying to use it to keep cool things happening.
Yeah. Awesome. So the past few years, you've kind of been doing less of the Orchid Euro, running around junkyards. Is that intentional, or is that just because
It is in a way. I always, this sounds silly, but I like to do things that kind of benefit things, or the things that other people aren't really doing. And so, although I love that, I love going to junkyards, I have not stopped. Once all of the COVID, etc., hopefully passes, I will travel to Europe and drive around in my Volkswagen LT46 that's stashed at my dad's house in the south of England, and I will go hunting for parts, etc. Yeah, when I have the opportunity to essentially travel the world and do really, really unique things and to build prototypes and things or concepts, yeah, that's why. There's no competition for me for earning my living doing something that really allows me to express my design and all of the things that I've learned from, 20 years of reading PVW, from Danny Allen's Mark 1, from Emile Kuistra's Mark 3s, from all of the Dutch, the German, the British, the Belgium cars that I grew up looking at and dreaming of. And now I get to work with some of those guys and to just express my touch and bring theirs in and everything that they've brought to the community. Yeah. Going in junkyards makes me really happy. I never want to stop it, but on a daily basis, to have the opportunity to make my living with these amazing projects and things, that yeah. I hope that explains it. I feel a little cut up. I don't want to be like, no, I don't want to, but I wanted to just do everything. But these cars are just, yeah, it makes me so happy.
I don't blame you at all. Have you got a dream car?
Probably. I'm going to just give you a different background.
Okay.
So and let me make sure I turn my camera.
Do you want to talk about the Harlequin? We'll come back to that if you like.
We're going to have it as a background as for a moment. So what? Hey, wait, hang on. What was the question?
Have you got a dream car?
Probably a Golf Limited.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want a Porsche. I just want a Mark II Golf.
5-door.
5-door, exactly. Blue, navy blue, 5-door Mark II Golf, small bumper. That's kind of my dream.
Fair enough. Okay,
but,
awesome. Yeah, have you got a favorite event or a couple, perhaps?
So right, let's think. So growing up and everything, MIVW in Holland, edition 38. Honestly, for all the slagging off that it gets, I really enjoy Ultimate Doves. It's just a season opener. Everyone gets to come out. We get to be indoors and just see what everyone's been working on. But around the world, VW Camp Fest near Johannesburg, South Africa, it's always in February. The Volkswagen scene down in South Africa is just popping. They bring out their A game, and for being in Britain and Philadelphia in February, to get to go down to where it's summer and hang out in shorts and t-shirt for a week in February is kind of amazing. Yeah. The BGT, Bubblegum Treffen, it's very off the radar, especially in Europe, I think. It's down near Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it's in early December, and it's the same sort of thing. It's all of these different cars we don't get in Europe and the USA. It's great weather. This little village or town that it's in is amazing. There's just people driving old air-cooled Beetles around still. They made them there for years.
Yeah.
But they're not there for the show. They're just driving to a supermarket, and then the supermarket has 30 slammed Volkswagens hanging out. So for everyone who doesn't like rainy, crappy weather, we should all go to Brazil in December and South Africa in February and just hang out with tens of thousands of other Volkswagen fans.
Awesome. And kind of, moving on from that, as the shows are off for the time being, if you could wind the clock back to a previous show season, where would you go? When would you go? What sort of era?
Okay, I'll play along with that, and I would say GTI International 1998.
Okay.
But otherwise, genuinely, it's always the next year. I just want to see what people have been working on, what we've been building on, what cars reappear. So every year I'm so excited, and there's not really a show, a tiny little local get together or a big international one that I'm not excited to go to. So I think my answer really is whatever the next season is.
Yeah, yeah. What were you driving in '98?
Mark III Ford Fiesta, literally a 1 liter. Oh, then I took a XR2 1.6, swapped it outside my college flat in Brighton, didn't change the tax or anything on it. And yeah, the CV joint would pop out when I was going too fast around a roundabout. I'd pop it back in and keep driving. Yeah, terrible, terrible.
That's kind of, yeah, I had a few sort of questions listed down. Do you want to tell us a bit about the Harlequin? That's pretty crazy car.
So yeah, you could get these in the UK. We don't have Polos in the US. This is a 1996, which we all were. I built this for the SEMA show last year. And I'm gonna not, all right. So yeah, we did the full 180 conversion, Black Forest CNC, the mounts and everything, and just everything, all the powder coating, everything was done right here in a little oven over in the corner.
Oh, wicked.
Tried to find all the original, Hofel lights, Matic mirrors, DTM cup mirrors. Yeah, just tried to do as much as we could within the sort of 14 days we built this car. A lot of parts on this did come from Volkswagen Parts Classic. I was able to visit their headquarters in Germany.
Okay.
And so shout out to Drive Heritage for being a UK distributor of their original parts. So yeah, a lot of this was, as much as we could get brand new, was from them.
Awesome.
We partnered with Marin Bicycles, so I went nuts on a bicycle as well.
It doesn't come like that, I'm guessing.
No, this was just me having fun. But I mean, even the cable ties, and then even the brake pads are color matched.
Oh wow.
So anyway, so yeah, I nerded out on that. So this was a good fun one. Just kind of a quick project, but it went down really well in the US at the show. So yeah, definitely had some fun.
Is that one old enough to keep there, or have you got to bring it back again?
So thanks COVID, we brought this car in for 1 year for events only, and there's no events. So it has to go back to Europe about October-ish. So hopefully we can come out of lockdown and and share it more rather than just on the internet. But yeah, joke's on me for bringing a car for car shows when there's no car shows this year.
That's a shame. And can you bring it back again, or is it like a one-time only deal?
No, it will. Once it goes back, it'll turn 25 years old, and then we can bring it in, which is our regulations here in the US. So yeah. So yeah, it'll make it here. It's going to come to live with me. It is my car. It will come here, and it will be here permanently then.
Cool. Let's have a quick look, see if anyone's asked it.
The question from Knit Aesthetics, no, we can't, there's no extension.
I think
oh yeah.
Yeah, I thank you very much for joining us, really. I've not got any more questions. I don't think we could be here all night kind of just going through these, but I don't think there's any other questions on there unless you've seen them. And yeah, thanks for taking the time to chat with me. For those of you...
I did want to show you a couple of little things. So this is my Mark I area.
Okay. Oh, this is the taxi.
Yeah, we've got the rabbit hutch or whatever you want to call it back here. So this is a November 1974 car. And I do need to order parts from Heritage for it because I'm trying to build this before lockdown ends. This one sat in the desert for 20 years or something. So yeah, I'm just having fun with this one. But This is the Rabbit prototype taxi. So you can see it's a long two-door front, and then it's a small two-door rear, but they extended it by that much. So it's a four-door, two-door with an extension. This was an official prototype built by the Checker Taxi Company in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah.
And this is the only one in the world. It was meant to be a joint venture with Checker and Volkswagen, and they built one and decided it was silly. But it does have insane legroom. So this is the C-pillar, the hatch, and then inside you can see just how huge it is. And the door is beautiful. I mean, the quality of the work, the door cards, everything is phenomenal. But
So
it doesn't.
What's the plan?
Well, the plan is make it run and drive. So it needs brakes, the engine seized, the automatic gearbox is seized. It needs everything going over. So that's, once I have time and budget and parts, yeah, just a refresh motor, automatic transmission, fresh brakes, and then just drive it. It was, interestingly, oh, and we've got maybe UPS pulling up. It was yellow. You can see the yellow paint around. So I wanted to go.
The taxi?
No, it wasn't. Okay. The one of the heads of the companies used it for his family. And the researchers of Checker. Hello. You need a signature? Are you good? Awesome. Thank you. If you can, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. You as well. So yeah, the historian from the Checker Taxi Company went and basically interviewed the family, and the guy's son remembers rolling around in the back of it.
Oh, wow.
So this, I want to get back on the road. Eventually, I'd like to get to go yellow. I might ship it to Europe and have it restored there. It was a German-built one, so I think yellow with the checker stripe down the side, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
So that's that. Otherwise, yeah, this one, hopefully in a couple of weeks, I might be able to get finished if I place a parts order. It's the original 74, so it has the brake lines running on the inside and lots of weirdness. Sorry?
Still runs drums?
Yes, up on the shelf, I have brand new front brake drums. In these two boxes are every single piece needed for brand new. I've drums, bearings, hubs, everything is brand new. So I'm going to rebuild it completely. I did mess with the engine, so it has a 20 valve in it. But I'm just going to leave it disgusting. You saw that I like things kind of correct like the Polo, but this one we're just going to leave ratty and just rusty and awful. And then this is the Mark I race car I'm building for a friend in the Nürburgring.
Okay.
So this one, these are all the parts for it. So we've got KWs, Willwoods, that's Black Forest Industries motor mounts, axles, carbon fiber, lots of stuff. There's the transmission we just got done building. So this is basically, sorry?
Is that being shipped out to you and then you're going to send it back again, or do you pick up the car over there?
No, it's a US car, but what we're going to do, what I want to do before stay at home is over, I want to do this as a live build on YouTube. Just start the camera when it's got nothing on it. There's nothing. It's empty. And I want to just build a car completely nonstop. And I won't go home. I'm just going to sleep next to the car if I have to. And I'm just going to see how fast can we do it with every single part, every bolt torqued and marked to proper specifications. So none of the TV, like, oh, the bolts weren't done or whatever. I want to do every single brand new bolt, every single N902, an exhaust, every single thing will be tightened, done properly. Yeah. That's the idea.
Wow. How long do you reckon it'll take you?
24 hours? I think I can do it. No, I'm going to bring a couple friends in. We're going to wear face masks. We're going to have hand wash around. We're going to keep our distance around the car. But I think 24 hours, which is 3 8-hour work days,
Yeah.
if you think about it. So if you don't sleep and you can just keep going, then I think 3 work days with a few people, we can do it, maybe. But there is a lot of stuff. I mean, that's the custom engine harness, hood pins, Borla exhaust. We're going to do the battery relocation. There's infinite stuff. The video fuel sender, so we have to mount that, and so yeah. But I think that'll be fun. So yeah, this is the kind of old school, mainly. Well, that's a 74, that's a 75, and then that's an 83.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, so anyway, I will stop going on about the Mark 1s. I will try and send you an email because I need some Mark 1 bumper brackets for this. Yeah. But cool. Yeah. Unless you have any other questions, I mean, I think we might have covered it all.
I reckon so. I think we've had a kind of a quick history, a quick preview into your biography.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me.
Christmas, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. Do you want to kind of give a shout out for where people can find you?
I'm on the internet. No, for real. If you can just Google my name with VW, and at this point Google is like, oh yeah, we know what you're talking about. No, just thanks to everyone who's been so amazing through all of these things. The cars interest me maybe less than the car's stories, if that makes sense. Like they're lumps of metal. And then the car shows interest me most to see what other people are building, and to just meet people and have the icebreaker that this inanimate lump of metal and plastic and rubber is. So yeah, I can't wait to keep seeing what everyone else is building and to go and hang out at shows again one day. Yeah, no, thanks to you. Hey, no, without playing up to, I bought a ton of stuff from Heritage over the years. I really appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys do, and yeah, just everyone that just keeps everyone's projects moving along. It's really cool.
Thank you very much. I will. I'll leave you to your day. You're live at 5, aren't you, EST?
5 o'clock, yeah. So 11. No, it's at 10 p.m. British time every Monday to Friday since lockdown, for my own mental well-being and to see trees and people's cars around the world. I have vowed to do that, and we're 9 weeks in, and it's an hour every day, which feels like a lot sometimes. But the amount of amazing people's cars, just what I'm talking about. We just want to share what we're doing. We're not just, okay, there's some one-off cars, but this is. None of us we've chosen Volkswagen for a reason, or whatever we have chosen, and the community is a big part of that. And so yeah, every day at 5 I wonderfully get to go and hang out with people all over the world. Sometimes they don't speak English and I don't speak what they speak, but it doesn't matter. We just have a laugh and look at cars.
Awesome. Well, I'll try and catch you later. Thank you very much, Jamie.
Take care.
Have a good one, man. So yeah, thank you very much to Jamie for joining us this evening. If you want to look him up, he's on at xjamiexoe on Instagram, xjamiex.com on the internet. If you'd be interested in chatting live with me, then drop us a DM and we can have a chat about getting you on and kind of sharing your story or your collection or whatever it might be. Massive thank you to you all for watching. Sorry about the technical glitches we've had kind of at the beginning and see through the middle as well. We'll be saving this chat to our stories, fingers crossed if Instagram lets us, and also republishing onto Facebook as well, if you want to catch any of it again. So yeah, have a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, or whatever it might be. See you soon, and stay safe. Thank you very much. Bye. Hello again. Sorry about that. A small connection.